All right, so TTP weekly report card. From now on, everybody that trains with TTP will have to submit the report card. I will keep a record of you, and it's going to be very important for you to always submit it. Make it a habit. You do not forget that report card. It is just as important as not skipping your session. All right, so here's why it is important. On your weekly schedule, you have X amount of BMX session, X amount of plyo sessions, X amount of endurance session, track session, sprint session, etc., etc. Ultimately, you should never be skipping your session. However, I understand that sometimes life happens. You have to move things around. You may be sick one week, or sometimes it's just difficult to get all the load in. In that case, that is why this report card, it is very important to fill out. I need to know exactly what you have been doing, what you've modified, and what you've skipped, or if you follow my program at 100%. Check this out. When you progress, you don't always progress in a straight line. The truth is that you progress in wave. So it kind of goes up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. We're not a machine. We're just human here trying to get better at something that we want to. So the thing is, once you start, you're here, and then as you progress, you are going to be a lot better the longer you train with TTP, obviously. But it's not going to be a straight incline. You're going to get ups and downs and things like that. Now, the good news is in a year from now that you train with TTP, your low part, you're down, you're not going to be very happy. It's still a heck of a lot higher than when you first started. So the good news is you are progressing, but you are not progressing consistently straight up. It goes up and down all the time. So me as your coach, I have to know exactly how to prevent those plateau from happening. So you're going to progress, and then you're going to plateau a little bit, and then you're going to start going down a little bit, and then we're going to bounce back and go up again. While you are going downhill a little bit, which is going to happen, it happens to all of us. I need to know exactly what have you skipped, what you have modified, and I'm going to refer to your old report card. As an example, if you are hitting a plateau and I need to get you out of your plateau, right? And you have followed every single session, you have not skipped a single session for 6 months. Good for you. That means that I need to readjust a few things on your training program. Maybe the load is too heavy, or maybe I just need to change a few little things. Maybe the training program is great, but just to make different movement happen, just altering certain things will get you out of your plateau and will make you go up again. Sometimes it's just an easy fix. But however, if you have skipped session over and over, you're not following properly, or every time it says 9 reps, you're doing like 5 and call it good enough for the day, or let's say you skip a gym session and try to make 3 gym sessions in one, things are not working out. I'm going to look at you and be like, hey, we're not changing anything. You're just going to start really focusing on following your program more. If you cannot keep up with the load, maybe the basic program will be a better option for you. My job will be to help you based on what I see from what you send over and over from those report cards. If I do not know what you've been doing, I cannot help you at all, right? So actually, I should say I could not help you as much as I could. And that's what you have hired me for, is so that you and I work together so that I can make you maximize everything you've got to make you pick at those big races that you've selected in your calendar, right? So that's what you hired me for. And that report card will basically be my way to help you even more. So in other words, help me helping you. So these report cards are due on every single week. I would make a habit to do it on Sunday or at the last session of the week. You fill it out and you submit. There is a lot to it on this. I'm going to go over every single step with you because I want to make sure that you are doing this right, okay? So let's get to it. So your report card, okay? First of all, you have your first name that I have to fill out. I need to know exactly who you are. And then your last name. Something that I need to mention, I don't want you to make a mistake on this. you will have a place to fill out. It says TTP week number. That's important. TTP week number is how long have you been training with me? Every single month, you received an email of a series of blocks that you have to do for the month, right? So at the beginning of your, let's say as an example, it looks like that, February 30 to 5th. So basically Monday to Sunday, 6, Monday to 6 to Sunday to 12, Monday to 13 to Sunday to 19, 20th, and so on and so on. And that's how it works. Then you have week. Right here it says week on your email that I send you. Let's say as an example, week 42, week 43, week 44, week 45. Those are the number of week you have been training with TTP since you've started from the very beginning. So that is the week number that you are on. So that's what you are going to put into your TTP week number. So that way I know exactly which week does that report card belong to. Is it week 43, week 44, week 45, etc., etc. So that's my way to keep track of that. So that's important. Do not mess that up or else I cannot keep track of anything. Write your name, write your last name, and write the week that you are on. So this is how it's going to work. I'm going to go through it with you, and so that way you know forever. All right. So every single week you have X amount of BMX session. You have X amount of sprint, X amount of gym, and so on and so on. Okay. So this is what's going to happen. BMX session complete. If you check that box complete, it means that you have done all of your BMX session perfectly as written on your training program. So if it's if you have 5 BMX session or 3 BMX session for that week and you've done all of them, you put complete and you move to the next. Done. If you have skipped some of the session, you just put partially complete. If you have done none of them, hopefully that will not happen, you click none. If you've modified the session, an example, let's say I put, I don't know, BMX4 where you need to train on clip pedal because you're 13 and over, at a track and go super fast. Darn it, it rains today, you could not go to the track. So what you did a series of bunny hop and manual in your front yard in the rain, right? You just made it happen, but you had to modify it. Simple, you put modified. And if you put NA over here, non-applicable, it means that you did not have any BMX session for that week. And then you have reason for not completing or modifying. So in that example that I just said, you just put like modified and then you just put your excuse, right? You just write it down. It's like, I could not go to the track because it was raining for today. And so I just did a bunch of bunny hop and I did it for an hour. And so that was my reason for modifying the session. Great. Move to the next. Now I know that. I keep a record of you and I will know that forever. All right. So same thing with the sprint session. Complete, partially complete. I didn't do a single one of them. Modified, or I did not have any sprint this week. That's not going to happen, by the way. Sprint will always be there. But it's just there for all the other sessions. Gym, same thing. Complete, partially complete, none, modified, non-applicable. Same thing for plyometrics. I need to know that. Endurance session, same thing. Active recovery, that's an important one. Active recovery. We tend to think that active recovery, it's not that important because it's not very difficult. You just pedal your bike from 30 to 1 hour, 30 minutes to 1 hour, and you just spin your legs. But I'm telling you, they are important because the load into the training program is very heavy and we get a lot of lactic acid into in our legs and we don't want to overtrain. Those active recovery really help kind of keep your blood flowing without making you tired. I was not 100% specific on those active recovery. I said anywhere from 30 minutes to 1 hour. But so if you don't have time to do it and you only do 20 minutes of it, I would consider that modified. So you put modified and put your reason. Then I have time to do it, forgot to do it, it was late, I was tired, whatever your excuse is, I need to know it. All right. Meal planning. You are an athlete, there's a science to this. you will not escape it. If you don't feed your body properly, you will not progress fast enough. And if you feed your body properly, you'll have a little bit more energy. If you have more energy, you will push harder on the training session. You will feel better. If you push harder on the training session, you will progress faster. That time, hundreds of workout, it will make a big difference. And especially for the race, I need you to race 100%. So I need you to feed your body correctly, even during races. All right? No junk food, avoid all that. Try to stay clean and prepare your meal to make sure you can travel with them, or that soon as you arrive to your location, you go to a grocery store that's open and have something to eat that is going to be healthy, that's going to sustain you for the whole weekend. Feed your body properly. I need to know if you followed it, partially follow it, or if you're completely avoiding it. All right, very important. Again, remember when I said that you're gonna go up and down into your progression. If I see that you follow everything correctly, and then you tell me you're tired, and I see that your diet is not on point, and you're not paying attention to it, that may be the reason why. All right, so that's why meal plan, it's in there. I want to know, are you feeding your body properly or not? All right. And then the last one will be race warm-up. So I know you're not racing every week. So in that case, if there is no race this week, you are just going to put non-applicable, right? So you move on. But if you do have a race, I need to know, have you warmed up properly? Lots of riders are guilty of not doing it. They're sitting in a chair, they hear the models getting close, they get to their chute, they move their legs a little bit, and they just do their lap. That's not gonna happen in any serious discipline at the Olympic, whether it's running a 100-meter dash or anything. The athletes are always perfectly warmed up, ready to deliver their maximum power. In BMX racing, you have to do the same thing. You're going to be sitting for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours between your moto. When that moto happens, you need to be warmed up. The warm-up is not complicated. Study it one time, read it through, try it, learn it by heart, and then it just becomes a habit. You know, when your race gets close, go through the routine, get to your chute, bam, hit your race and do it. So again, did you modify it? Did you do it partially, or did you do it 100%? That's an important piece of information for me to know so that I can help you. So that's basically it. That's the report card that you are going to fill out every single week. Make it a habit to do it Sunday night or at the end of your very last session. And so that way I will have a record of everything you have done since the day you've been starting training with me. An important point to mention, if you do forget to report a week, I am going to consider that as a miss week, right? So in other words, if I see that this client tells me he's not progressing, I'm not going to name any name, right? So if one of my riders is not progressing and I pull out his report card and I see that, forget to put 1 week. This one is there, week 44 is there, week 45 is there, we forget 46, we forget 47, 48 is there, forget 49, 50, and so on and so on and so on. I will consider every single week that you have not submitted as something that you have not been serious on. The way I'm looking at this, I can bet you right now that if you're training with me, you probably have the best bike that money can buy. And the reason why you have that best bike is because you want to make sure that you are as fast as you can be. And not only you got the best bike that money can buy, but you took even that a step further by hiring me as your coach to tell you what to do, how to train, and make your schedule happen to make sure that you really maximize your potential. Well, if you are that serious to hire a coach to train you, you are going to be serious enough to fill out your report card. As simple as that. So that's it for the report card. Do not forget it. Make it a habit to submit that information to me every single week.